come on a wee bit earlier because I've got a meeting, so I didn't want to rush through everything today. Loud and clear, appreciate it. It was good, was it? Good. I gave my old man a fitness watch. He was quite happy with it. He's just got back into the gym. 60, hey Audrey, mate. 60, morning Silver. 65 years old, back in the gym, so we got him this smart kind of watch, which he was chuffed about. So hopefully you got your socks, Griffey. Okay, let's get into the markets. Let's get into the market, shall we? Let's look at the SPX, which at the moment for me, it is a risk off. It has had a move, had a decent move. In terms of Dow theory, we've broken through the lows here. Continuing with our Dow theory downtrend, we could get some pullback here because we've had that decent move, but it is, for me, still, yeah, you've been out for, yeah, where have you been, Andre? We've missed you. We've missed you, mate. You've missed pretty horrible markets, to be honest, but hopefully they'll start to be okay come probably the end of summer. Let's see. Morning, Dale. So yeah, broken through these lows from a 4-hour perspective. I think we come back and it looks to be maybe we test that 20, looking for something like that reason to short it. But markets continued risk off for me. No major changes. No major changes. It ain't looking nice out there. It's not looking pretty. Oh yeah, this is where you said it would go to, Silver, right? You think it would come down there on the weekly? I mean, that would make sense, right? That would make sense. If we wanted to be, this is not really right? Is this really the right thing to do? Probably not. But that would smash the 50 from a weekly if we take that as a kind of one impulse. Yeah, I mean, at the moment, you have to predict it down. Have to. So until we get any reason to go in again from an investment standpoint, which we haven't got, you could maybe say a little bit more certainty, but not really. Charts are down, markets are down, things are falling. Fib 61, yeah, no, I'm not saying this is a good thing to do. I was just putting that on just for illustration purposes, but that is not correct, right? Your fib should be from the latest impulse. It was just a kind of a little bit of interest, little way to look at it. But yeah, certainly looking at continuing to buying up stocks on a discount, buying up the index on a discount. This makes perfect sense. Continue to do it. Hey, Leon. Okay, dollar. The dollar's had a slight rally from that move to the downside. What I'm maybe looking for with this is potentially this now. You're kind of uglier head and shoulders. Usually the uglier they are, the better they work. Fundamentally, dollar up. Technically, dollar up. I don't like this, but we've kind of eradicated it slightly. I know we've not created or come back, or we created that lower high, although we've not created a swing. I feel like from a daily perspective, the technicals do look good. We could get that complex corrective here on the daily back to that 20 before continuation. But the fact that we have digested that move to the downside slightly, it makes me a bit more comfortable in continuation dollar longs. And again, as with the stock market short, it would make sense. So I'd be looking at something like this. I think that would be a pretty nice entry in the dollar, to be honest with you. And as I said, going with that larger term, it just makes sense to buy the dollar right now. So SPX corrective, dollar continued corrective, but eventually another leg to the downside and another leg to the upside. Anybody have an opposite bias? What does other people think? I presume you're all thinking stock market down, right? But dollar, you think we get a deeper corrective? We could come down to that 200. We could be looking at, you could look at it like this, to be fair. I think that's the incorrect way to look at it, but you can look at it like that. Higher low. But nope, 100%. What nope? USD down for me. USD down? Okay. I mean, you could look at this and say, well, doji last week, right? Doji last week, and I would understand that. All right, yeah. Double talk on. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that bias. Silver. Yeah, you could be right. Absolutely. So if I do get that on the 4-hour, I will like it though. And I think dollar stays strong. I do. Pull back. Yeah, I do. But you could be right. You could be right, Silver. You could be right. Just here to potentially analyze. Obviously, it doesn't matter really as long as we get our trades right, right? Okay, so US 30, I'm looking short. I do like the context here, cup with handle within a cup with handle. The only thing I don't like about it is this potential extension on the Dow daily chart. The 4 hour, are we selling at the bottom here? So I'm kind of hoping, even though this context is nice, I actually like this. Obviously, if we break above here, I can't take it. But I don't want this to give me that decision. But if it does break and retest, I could look at potential Dow shorts. The breakouts are all, again, they're all quite nice. I'm just waiting for one of them to set up. USD ZAR, I like looking for a potential aggressive somewhere around this 20 here. I don't think this latest impulse for me is digested enough to go long yet. So I'll be looking for an aggressive up in here and looking for a potential break to the upside in USD ZAR. Still like that, still looking for it, but it's going to take a few more days. EU, similar. Most of these are daily, actually. Actually, all of them are daily. EU is in a relatively nice corrective on this daily chart. Yes, we have, I mean, this relatively bullish bar for EU 2 days ago, but I'm still ultimately looking at playing that downtrend. Looking for a potential aggressive up here and looking for a potential breakout. EU shorts, very similar to USD ZAR. Looking aggressive and looking for a breakout. USD Singapore dollar, very similar. This one is probably a little bit cleaner, I have to say. I do like this one. I don't think this is enough yet. I could be wrong, but I don't think this day is enough to digest this latest impulse. I think if we get a little bit more, an aggressive up in there, and again, exactly the same thing. A lot of these are the same setups in USD Singapore, USD ZAR, USD EU, and I all really like them. So aggressive there, looking for that. GJ is another one. Got a few more days to go with this. I don't particularly like this second handle at the moment, but if I'm looking for a breakout, it would kind of have to neaten itself up, give us some accumulation for a potential break to the upside. Or again, you know, I'm not taking that as aggressive, obviously, but if we do something there is a potential aggressive long in GJ as well, but ultimately looking for a break to the upside. Which, does that make sense with where the market is? No, it doesn't. You know, oh God. Doesn't to me, but that is what the technicals tell me. Yen potential weakness. It depends if it gets up there. GJ 15 minutes. I presume you're looking long, John? Long John Silver? If it breaks above there, then yeah, you know, it does look to me at the moment that it gets up to this area. It does look, I mean, that's what I want. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but that's what I want to happen. And again, it would make sense. So yeah, my bias is it gets up there. So GJ 15 minutes in terms of your exact entry, I'd probably be more comfortable with a break of this area, to be honest with you. But need a bit more confirmation. But yeah, GJ long. You know, you could get that 20 catch up on the 4 hour. You've broken through your 4 hour kind of anchors here. But, you know, you could get that. But let's see. GJ, potential longs. I just think it needs a little bit more here, personally, John. A little bit more here because we have had a decent move on this 4 hour, right? You think about smaller time frames, you're coming from up here. So this is not quite digested enough for me to think it goes today or tomorrow, maybe towards the end of the week. But yeah, I agree with the bias. GJ, pound New Zealand. What would happen if Bitcoin goes to zero? Let's have a look at Bitcoin. I don't actually know. What would happen if Bitcoin goes to zero? I don't think that'll happen. But I guess it's just, you know, just becomes worthless, right? GJ going to zero. A little bit of support there around, I mean, what did it touch? $17,630. I mean, this is the strange thing. Like, you remember when oil went negative, right? Buying the commodity. I remember reading a story about, I think there was a small hedge fund in the UK that made like 60 million off like a mistake or something. Anyway, out of that kind of oil drop. But I mean, this is the thing. If it gets to zero, then what happens? Like, do you know what I mean? I don't think it can ever do that. Like, could you buy Bitcoin at zero? You know, how does that work? I don't really know. But I guess we'll have to, if it does get there, we'll have to see. Crypto goes to zero, money printing will be balanced. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it gets there. I don't think it gets to zero. You know, I don't think it gets there. I think that's something we'd probably have to look out for if that happens, right? A lot of money will disappear. I mean, let's see. Look, yeah. I mean, all the money will disappear from the market, right? If crypto goes to zero, it's all gone. What was it? 3.3 trillion or something? Gone. I just don't think it happens, but we'll see. Anyway, if we talk about the technicals for Bitcoin, right? We've got our bullish 180, little bit of volume coming in, so it could be pullback time for Bitcoin before, again, continuation shorts. That is my bias for Bitcoin. You know, it's had a decent move, obviously, over the last week and over the weekend. Seems to have created a low here. The low could be breached through. Certainly, if the stock market decides to fall, we're kind of getting something similar, right? Impulse movement to the downside. Markets, if the markets fall, Bitcoin will probably fall with it. That's what we've seen right now, and that's what I think it continues. So Bitcoin corrective, then shorts. Pound New Zealand daily is still on the cards here. I do like this setup. I do like pound weakness. We've got our kind of cup with handle potentially in our ABC here. No aggressive entry, but looking for this to come down, accumulate slightly, and break to the downside. I do like where this is in terms of RTM. It's certainly ready to move for me. But looking at that 20 catch-up, break to the downside, in a good position from corrective being over. You kind of got your corrective channel here, retested it, which created that outside bullish engulfer from this trend to the downside. I like that. Pound New Zealand shorts, daily chart, still got a wee bit to go. There is the option here of if we're taking this as our ABC, AB shallow C, should we say. There is an option here for a V reversal on a break of B wave. Again, in another nice position. I would need a little bit of a corrective from here before I take that. Again, a possibility for aggressive entry in that. I like that idea. I like that chart. I like where it is. So I'll be looking at multiple entries trying to get short in Pound New Zealand. Aussie dollar, very similar to EU, I think. Aussie dollar, yeah, we're getting that set up here. Still got a little bit to go where we can potentially look at aggressives and we can potentially look at breakouts continuing in that trend with the idea we're buying the dollar and it's risk off, selling those commodities. And finally, Kiwi Yen. Again, this one that doesn't make sense to me, but technicals are telling me that we've got a large V reversal here. We've got a potential pullback. I don't think this is enough for me. That's not aggressive at all unless we get a larger complex. Then I could look at that. But essentially looking for a break above this area, coming up, creating our secondary structure, possible third structure for a break to the upside on NJ, which again doesn't make sense to me, but the chart looks nice. You know, chart looks nice. Nice pullback here from a 4-hour perspective from our kind of latest impulse, breaking through that anchor with strength. Look kind of similar to GJ, right? It's risk off, but the chart's clean. So let's see. NJ is something that I do like. I think out of all of them, Pound New Zealand is my favorite. I resonate with that trade. I mean, if we go like this, you can kind of see why, right? Can go at that 70-30 rule. Very nice move to the downside. We should have been a part of this short, I think, on Pound New Zealand, right? I think that was it, all the way back up there. Anyway, I don't need to go into that. But that's probably my pick of the basket, I reckon. Or probably yeah, in terms of I like the most. But that's not saying I don't like the others. I do like the others. USD Singapore, again, I like. And USD ZAR. Again, I like the idea of those trades. My gut likes them. And I always like to go with that big gut I've got, or hopefully the reducing gut I've got now that I'm getting on a diet. I'm gonna order those meal plan stuff that come like the lunch and dinner that they deliver every day. Okay, anything you guys want me to look at? I've still got some time before my meeting. Any ideas up in there? Somebody actually did say, oh, EJ, sorry, Leon, EJ. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the chat. I was just going through there. GJ, great for running off without us. Yeah, absolutely, John. GJ is a monster in itself. So it kind of, when it gets momentum, it goes, right? So yeah, you could be right. GJ does have a mind of its own. Going to 13 or 14K. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, right now, it's hard to predict, right? It's hard to predict where this is going. Okay, because where does the support come in? I can't really go back on this one, unfortunately, but where does the major support come in now? I mean, for me, for Bitcoin, the 30K was major support. You're getting psychological levels now, you know, 20, the 15, the 10, I think. But there's no, yeah, exactly. Where do people start buying this up? We don't know yet. We'll just have to wait and see. EJ Leon, let's have a look at EJ. Hopefully people stop data mining and electric gets cheaper, possibly. 1800 held well like expected, but 800 could be on. 800, wow. Crypto zero, printing with balance. Okay, so EJ. But this is a question. Would you, if let's say that happens, right? Let's say Bitcoin gets sub 1,000. Let's say, for example, are you still comfortable buying it? Like, would you still be? I mean, obviously, you'd probably reduce your investment. So if you're looking at 800 and you want to say you want to snap up a couple of Bitcoin, I mean, surely you have to do that. There'll be so much worry coming in, but would it? I mean, you'd have to do that, right? You'd have to. With the risk, basically the risk to reward play there. If you're still looking at 100 grand for one Bitcoin, and ETH, I mean ETH is, yeah, Bitcoin and ETH. You certainly go and say, right, I'll go and buy 3 or 4, you know, thinking that could potentially be worth $300,000-$400,000. Surely you do that, right? Invest what you can afford to lose. Dollar cost averaging investing, yep. I agree with that, Martin. Never traded crypto yet. Correct, Silver, yeah. I mean, if people are ready to buy at 60, they should be certainly ready to buy at 100. This is just funny, is it? Where people say, you know, no, I'm not touching it anymore. Tell myself 20% if I like 1800, but now it seems 800. Yeah, I've got 10%. I'm thinking 10%, but I just can't. You can't just. Yeah, you have to do that, right? You just have to keep buying it. If that's what you believe in, you've got to keep buying it. It's rallied. It's rallied every single time. Why should it go to zero now? You know why? Unless we go into a major recession, but I don't think it. Yeah, correct. Yeah. I mean, if something fundamentally changes, then yeah, okay, you think about it, but I think Martin's right. Dollar cost averaging is the name of the game right now. Be greedy when others are fearful. Yeah. So I'm certainly I'm more comfortable buying stocks, obviously, and ETFs and etc. in terms of investing, because you're not worried about that, are you? You know, if you buy Amazon or you buy Apple or you buy in a, you know, QQQ or you know, the tech kind of funds, or obviously the Vanguard 500, you're not worried. You're quite happy. And I wish I had more cash to put in. Unfortunately, I would be going heavily into it, but let's see how far it goes down. Sorry, Leon. Euro yen. I liked Euro yen last week. It broke without me. So Euro yen broke without me. Unfortunately, I did like that setup. I wanted a slight little pullback here before it pushed to the upside. Do I like the idea of it? Again, selling the yen. I don't agree with that in my mind, but going with what you see rather than what you think, you've kind of had a pullback, outside bullish engulfer. You know, it looks good to the upside. Looks good to the upside on Euro yen. You have to say that. You know, are we getting maybe a bit of a loss of momentum here on smaller time frames? Maybe needs a little bit of a reset, smaller time frames before moving to the upside, possibly. Although you could look at it as maybe you're looking at it as a kind of potential squeeze in here, retesting this area, continuation. But from a larger time frame perspective, you have to say it looks decent. It could have a pullback, yeah, because from a 4-hour away we've moved it, quite a bit. But momentum is up. Broken structure, broken a good anchor. EJ for me looks good to the upside. Yeah. That's why they want us to believe. That's what they want us to do. And yen's not been a safe haven. No. I mean, where's the safe haven in this? If we're talking about the drop since February, right? The safe haven has been the dollar, not been the yen. It's not been gold. The safe haven has been the dollar, and I think that really is the Swiss. I mean, the Swiss got some strength on account of the news coming out last week, but has that even been a massive safe haven? I don't think so. Basically, you'd expect a bit of a different price action than this, right? So the US dollar has been where it's at. And I can't think of anything else. Like I said, if we look at gold with that inverse relationship, although I think gold should be high. So that's where everybody's money seems to be going, right? The dollar. So why? And again, if the market's looking like that, why should that stop? Why should that drop? So let's see. That's why, so you're right, John. This is where, from my mind and the way I was taught, was always keep things simple. If the market's dropping, invest in the yen, right? It's normally the yen being the major risk-off currency, but things are different. I have to understand that things are slightly different right now because of what's going on macro-wise. So yeah. No, I do agree. I do agree with buying GJ. I've got GJ on my list. Because from technicals, right, it looks long. Same with, I've got GG on my list. What else have I got on my list? I've even got Kiwi Yen on my list. Because the technicals are saying this is quite nice. And as you said, the yen has been very weak. It's not acting as it should be acting. And whether I say to myself, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sell the yen because in my mind, the yen should be strong. And that's probably me saying, going back, because we have to understand market conditions are different. But then is that me wrong, where if I take this and then I lose that trade because the yen then starts to get some strength, will I be annoyed at myself? I can't think like that. I've got to look at these technicals and say the yen's not acting like this right now. We are in a different kind of market conditions, different than I've ever seen. And the only thing that I can rely on is my technicals and my setup and my entry criteria, and I've just got to go with that. So I like GJ Long. Yeah, correct, John. Yeah, correct. Yeah, Martin, yeah, you're right. So it's yeah. So this is what I mean. It's just a weird market, Yeah, and it's just picking bits and pieces. Should Euro Yen be up there? But I've got to go with it, right? I've got to go with what I see and not what I think. Even though there's times where I do use that risk sentiment, I understand that, but it has been different. It has been different from a Forex perspective, let's say, if we're focusing on Forex. Puts up interest rate, yeah. But yeah, I think just it's just, hey, we just go with our entry criteria, and that's there's so many ways to analyze this. There's so many different theories you can go in, but one thing I do know, and one thing I'm very comfortable with, is to make it simply a cup with handle, right? And I know what I'm looking for, and then I'm kind of getting it here, and that's all I can kind of go with. And if it doesn't work this well this year, then, as I said, it doesn't work as well. But hey, we just move. We move. There was another. I don't think there was another chart, was there? Did someone say about EuroCAD? EuroCAD reversal coming. EuroCAD reversal. Yeah, I wanted to short this thing. Obviously, I got stopped out in it. EuroCAD reversal. Maybe. Good weekly. I wouldn't say reversal, but potential larger pullback, yeah. Potential larger pullback. So yeah, potentially larger pullback in EURUSD. I know oil's taking a slight hit, but we know what the euro's like, right? We know the euro like kind of likes these climactics, and what we're seeing here. I mean, fair enough. It's not immediately rejected from this area, but I never really like this. I don't like that kind of price action. So yeah, we could get a kind of daily pullback, a weekly pullback on EURUSD, but you'd still be looking at shorting that, I think. But the daily, I mean, yeah, you've definitely got this, right? You've definitely got that, and that is a bullish sign. I mean, it's engulfed the last, 2 weeks of price action, really. But, it's still got to break these anchors. This will be where the test is at, up here. Are we going to continue with this strong downtrend? I mean, it could be, you could look at that as accumulation. Probably not. So, yeah, I can certainly see it getting up here, let's say that. And then let the market make that decision. Yeah, could be silver. But is that priced in? Is that not priced in? Let's wait and see. Yeah, we'll see. You never know, silver. You never know. Anything else? Anything else you guys want me to look at before I head off? Remember, 20th of June. It's almost the end of the month. FTMO. You want to be entered. If not, don't think there's anything else. It is Monday. Monday is sometimes, obviously, we know, very quiet. We always have to trade safe today. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace.